Guys, this video is brought to you by our friends at Ridge. This incredible wallet, it's light, it's sleek, it's industrial, and you already know it's seriously changed my whole pocket game. Now is the time for you to upgrade your wallet. Guys, check this out. Ridge wallets hold up to 12 cards, plus all the cash that you're gonna need. There's over 30 colors and styles. That includes carbon fiber and burnt titanium. It is the best wallet you can buy. And I don't want you to just take my word for it, because there's over 30,000 five-star reviews. I admit I was skeptical at first, but once I tried it, I never went back to my old wallet. And for you guys, there's no pressure. Test this thing out for 45 days. If you don't love it, send it back, get a full refund. If you decide to keep it, there's even a lifetime warranty. Ridge is offering up to 40% off on select products site-wide right now until December 22nd. So go to ridge.com/Chael. Be sure to use the promo code Chael or just click on the link below. Guys, don't ever try to entertain me. And me is not Chael the person. I am the collective community of mixed martial arts. Don't ever try to entertain me. If that is your goal, don't ever tell me that that's what you're out there trying to do. Like, you're not going to get credit from me. And you're damn sure not going to get a pass. Ever. If you go into unarmed combat and you elect a skill and or rule set that is anything other than what we know as unified. If you're ever in a fight and you think I'm going to avoid the ground because the crowd doesn't like the ground, but had I gone there, I could have beaten him. You're not going to have any appreciation from me for my time or the money that I parted with or the outcome. If you're not doing whatever it is you can do to win, I'm not going to make and subsidize your outcome within my mind. It's never going to happen. As a matter of fact, if you buy into the school of thought that the fans want to see two guys stand and trade, I mean, I've got to stop you right there. Since when? Where did you get that concept? And I know that narrative's out there. Like, don't think I'm calling you out as though I sitting in the corner wearing earplugs. I'm well aware from day one that's been around. I'm also well aware that this sport has overtaken in an unforeseen capacity that of boxing. Now, there's another sport out there that never really got off the ground, and it's called kickboxing. And it's hanging on, boy. It's fighting for its life. There's another sport out there. Boy, it's trying to get some exposure, and it's got a little bit of a base, and it predates MMA by hundreds of years, called Muay Thai. If it's so true that the audience wants to see two guys stand and bang, Muay Thai would be the king sport. Followed by kickboxing, and boxing would have absolutely no problem selling at arenas. I mean, I'm just using this point for you that if I want to see two guys stand and trade, I can. If I want to see two guys fight with a much more wide open rule set, I can do that too in the form of mixed martial arts. And since when was being on the ground boring? I mean, wouldn't that be your job? If you're a ground fighter and that's where you have success, wouldn't that then be your job to make that interesting and or exciting? Isn't there ways? I mean, Khabib got massive amounts of credit. They built an arena for him. And he wasn't out there standing and trading. I'm just offering you an example because I do know that this is a real narrative. The biggest pay-per-view star of all time is George St. Pierre. He wasn't out there doing those types of things. Brock Lesnar was an anomaly, followed by Ronda Rousey and the arm bars, who came from an Olympic sport known as judo. There was absolutely no stand and bang. But I know that idea keeps on floating around. Kevin Holland looked to me as though he could have won the fight. That might be going a little far for some of you, but I don't say it with an exaggeration. To me, it looked as though Kevin Holland could have and would have won the fight over Wonderboy. But Kevin was attempting to tell a story to the audience that he was going to stand up and trade, that this is the deal that we have, and we're doing this and we're honoring the deal and we made it in the first place to serve the audience because this is what they want. That's fine. I don't fully get it. I would not do it. I would not coach a guy to do it. I can live with it and I can accept that. I wouldn't want you to do that and to continue to do it if you think that you're now giving us what we want or you think that somehow there's a pass. And this has also been around, right? Like from the beginning of the time, stand and bang is a real thing. But also from the beginning of time, guys would like to hold their placement. They'd like to remain main events. They'd like to stay within rankings. They'd like to keep their sponsorship money. They like to keep the fans coming up to them, keep those autograph signings going by not getting positive results as a way of making a trade and saying, but I gave you what you wanted. I was exciting and I entertained you. And that's where the fan has to go, I'm sorry, I've misled you. Is that what I said? Did I say I just want to be entertained? Did I say I just want to have fun? Did I say I want to see two guys stand and bang? I'm sorry, I've misrepresented as a fan. I like to see those things, but most over, I want to see the guy that wins. And I'm sorry if I didn't disclose that. It sounds as though perhaps we don't make the same bargain. I should have said that ahead of time. And Holland's a very interesting spot. He's a very interesting guy. I mean, Kevin Holland got a big opportunity in this sport. Dana White calling his bluff. That guy's got a big mouth. Listen to all the things he said. Call him up. Let's call him out so we don't have to hear this anymore. And Holland said yes. And I've even lost track to the full Holland story. I mean, I remember he knocks out Jacare and it was like his 5th fight within a calendar year. I personally get involved. Doing a grappling event, I call Holland. This is like on a Thursday. He's got to get on a plane to come out and take on, rest his soul, Rumble Johnson. And he accepted where he was going to be giving up about 50 pounds. I mean, Holland was really an interesting guy. He's got no problem shuffling the deck, rolling right into Chimaev on no notice. At a different weight. He then retired. And that was really quick. That was like a really quick cup of coffee, but he was done. And he said that perfectly clear. And guys will say lots of things, right? Like we don't hold him to all of it, especially when you have that emotion, you have up and down. We fully understand this as fans, but he did. And he came from an unretirement into a very tricky spot against Wonderboy, right? I mean, that is a puzzle. The Wonderboy puzzle, that really tricky spot, not to mention it's a main event. He went from retirement to he moves up in the card. It's very hard to lose a fight and go up. It's just very hard. The rankings won't let you do it. So Wonderboy was, I believe, not even the co-main event. I believe his fight with Chimaev was 3rd from the top. Am I remembering that right? He not only lost, he was finished within the 1st round, and he went up. He went into a main event. He's an interesting guy. And for a big part of his career, you could see the stand-up skills. That just wasn't what was being displayed and talked about because he didn't want it to be. He was very proud of his jiu-jitsu, and he really wanted to serve Travis Lutter, his mentor. It was a very cool thing, but every now and then, Kevin Holland would end up on bottom without a big resistance. The opponent would try to take him there and Holland would cooperate. That's where he wants to do his work from. And he was having success. He won the fight by knockout over Jacare from his back, just by example. So it was an interesting spot to see him out there with Wonderboy. And it was even more interesting because I think he could have won. And not just could have. I think he would have. When Wonderboy was down, if Holland would have come on top, knowing how good Holland is, I think he would have stayed there. think he would have racked up points. He might have passed and improved. Pretty confident telling you that he would have struck, but in a worst case scenario, just him getting there in the judges' minds, I think it would have been enough to swing the needle. And he appeared to not want to do it because there was an agreement ahead of time between he and Wonderboy. I didn't see it. Must have it at a press conference. Maybe they even did it on Twitter. I don't know. I did not see him and Wonderboy reach an agreement, but I know that Wonderboy wouldn't have held him to it. I thought that he went back on a bargain when he's going in there and he's trying to win a fight using any skills he's got. Wonderboy is a known stand-up fighter. Holland is a known ground fighter. Like, that's not a deal that Wonderboy would have expected you to keep. And for anybody that's coming down the pike, anybody that's in the future, anybody that hears the fans say they want to be entertained, they want this to be fun, they want to see you stand and bang, excuse the fan. If he didn't finish that thought by telling you in front of all of those things, I want to see a contest and I want to see you win. And if you don't, when my excitement towards you or my attitude towards you changes in a downward trajectory, I don't think I've done anything wrong. You fought under unified rules. If I wanted to see a stand-up fight, I have those options. How could you ever take that serious? How could you ever think that was a real deal? How could you ever go into battle and not use everything you possibly have to get your hand raised? And we'll chalk this one up. We'll chalk this one up to ignorance. We didn't know. Now we know. There's one deal. One set of rules. Unified. That's what we're going under.